Hello everyone and welcome to another CREY video guide. My name is Scuden and today we'll have a look at how to use the input trigger and what you can do with it. So basically the input trigger works this way. You press a certain key that you can select in here, and whenever you press that key the input trigger will send power to whatever you're sending power to. So in this case let's just put in a rotator, give it a bit of speed, take a primitive, place that and glue it to the rotator. So we have a rotating cylinder here. Let's just paint the grass a little bit to make it prettier. And now let's send power from the input trigger to the rotator. Let's press 9 and see what happens when we press the forward key. As you can see, whenever we're running forward, pressing W on the keyboard, the input trigger sends power to the rotator. So everything works as intended. Now, if you want the characters to actually don't move while doing this, there's this option here called lock player, and it basically locks the player from this key which is running forward. So now that we've selected that, whenever I press W on the keyboard to run forward, I can't because we've selected lock player. However, the input trigger is still sending power to the rotator. And this can be very useful sometimes. You can actually just lock the entire movement on the character if you want to. Let's say we place 4 input triggers here, and now instead of forward we go backward with this one and select left here, which is A on the keyboard, and then D should be the right one. So now WASD has actually been locked entirely, so even though I'm trying to press WASD, my character does nothing, but I'm still sending power whenever I press W, so the forward. This was just a little bonus information for the input trigger. It can be very useful sometimes. So let's have a look at the other settings. This one, don't mind that one for now. The minimum time powering after input can be very useful. So let's say we set that to 5 seconds and hit 9 again to playtest. Now I'm just going to press forward, the forward key, the W key, 1 time. And as you can see, even though I'm not pressing it, it keeps on firing, it keeps on sending power for 5 seconds. Let's try that again, pressing now. So this can be very, very useful sometimes if you want to time certain things. It could be that you were using a lift instead of a rotator, and you just know that lift has a transition time that is 5 seconds, for example. So you can time things and be more precise by using the minimum time powering after input. So, alright guys, this was a very simple setup. I'll just quickly show you. You can use this to create like some vehicle controls. So let's just do that. Just gonna enable the rotation snap here. It's up here, press 6 on the keyboard. So now we have this directional mover moving forward at, let's say, 60. Let's just reset here. Okay, that's pretty quick. Let's just say 30. And now we want this to be powered by the input trigger. And again, let's try to reset. I don't know what we should choose for the vehicle. We've used the skull in previous videos, so let's just go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we have the skull here. Glue that to the directional mover, which gets power from the input trigger when we press forward. Let's playtest this, and as you can see, whenever I press W, that skull is just moving in a direction. So now we want the skull to be able to rotate, obviously. So what we can do here is get a rotator from the library. Just place 1 on each side. You don't have to do this. Just sometimes I think it's a bit easier just to keep track of which rotator is doing what. Now let's select maybe 20. Okay, I feel like 100 maybe is better. Yeah, and then let's go with here -100. So now, as you can see, this rotator to the left is rotating left, and the one to the right is rotating right. Now, obviously, we want to get new inputs here, so we want left key to trigger the left rotation, and yeah, you guessed it, we want the right key here to trigger the right rotation. Now let's just reset again. Now what we want to do is that we want to select the rotator and then target directly to the directional mover here. The reason we're not gluing here is that we want the directional mover to rotate around itself and use itself as a pivot instead of using the rotator. That's why we're using target, so that it rotates like this around itself. Okay, and let's just give that a go. Zoom out a bit. And now we actually have the skull that we can control. I feel like it's moving faster than it's rotating. So let's just increase the rotation to, let's say, 200. And minus 200 on the other side. And we should get some more control over the skull. Yeah, definitely feel like we did that. And now you can actually hide the character somewhere, attach a camera to the skull. We can do that really quickly if you want to see it. Just go into the gameplay props, find the camera, just rotate that. Or you know what? I'll actually just double click it, press start here on the camera test. And now you can sort of freely place this character here, or the camera. Let's place it here. Press escape, close this one. And then just find the camera. Let's glue that to the skull. We actually need to give it some power as well. Just take a sensor, put that to forever, and send some power to the camera over here. Now let's give it a go. And now we actually have a playable skull. So yeah, there you have it. Or at least just one of the basic ways that you can use the input trigger. There are so many ways in which you can use this as levers to open things, to put text on the screen. We actually forgot to just do the explain the custom key here. So you go and select a custom key, and let's just select H for help. So key H, and maybe we can go into the gameplay library here, get the text overlay. We've covered that in another video, so check that out if you want to. Send some power from the H key here to the text, and let's just yeah, I don't even know. Let's just write that. So go into the playtest, press H, and I don't even know, appears right in the middle of your screen. Whenever you wanted to, just press H. Or you can use the minimum time powering to make sure it stays there for a couple of seconds. It's really up to you. But yeah, guys, this was the short video on how to use the input trigger. If you have any questions, just write them below in the comments, or write to me directly, and I'll try to make sure that I do a new video explaining some things that I might have missed in this one. So once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if there's something in particular that you want to see in future videos. If not, then I'll see you all in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.